Hey guys, Corrie Jones here, Garden Girl for Two Peas in a Bucket, with the next installment of 213 and 2013, the Monday weekly video series where by the end of 2013 you'll have 213 creative prompts to help you get started and keep you motivated to scrapbook. Recently, it was my oldest daughter's 15th birthday, and every year on their birthday, I always take them out for a special photo shoot with just them. And so these pictures I had from our recent session, and I really wanted to make sure I made a fun, happy page for her 15th. So of course I started out with white cardstock, and then I pulled out every type of vellum I could find. I found some from Studio Calico, some from American Crafts, and then this striped page was actually out of the Mayberry Daybook. I also then pulled out different vellum tapes from Basic Ray, Little Yellow Bicycle. I also had some vellum tags from Ormolu, and then Basic Gray transparencies that were part of different packages. Then, of course, a whole bunch of different fun embellishments, and then lastly, some different alphabet stickers. But that leads me into my first prompt, which is to try out an art supply. Vilna's been using these great gelatos, so I decided I was going to bust mine out too and try them. So I've got my pictures here and I'm ready to get started on my page, and I'm just going to start by using the gelatos. The colors are really bold and vibrant, which I love, so I think this is going to be a good place for me to start. And I'm just going to freehand draw a heart onto my white cardstock. I started out with the light pink, and to make it a little more interesting, I actually added a second drawing of the light pink. And then I'm just going to move through and use different colors. The hot pink was a fun little touch. And then a little bit of blue just to tone it down just a tad. And then I thought it'd be really fun to put a little yellow in there because I do love some yellow. But just little pieces here and there. But once it was done, I didn't really like it so much. So it's time for my second prompt, which is to not be worried about just having to start over. So here's attempt number 2. Again, I'm going to start with the light pink because it probably is my favorite of the colors that I chose. And then I'm going to move on to the hot pink as well. The blue is still really nice, but I'm definitely going to leave out that yellow. The yellow just didn't work with the other colors very well for me, so I am going to try a little bit of this purple instead, and found that it really just gave a little bit of an accent, which was much more pleasing. Plus all the colors really match nicely with the photos. But something I'd like in the center just to add a little extra color, so I'm going to use some Heidi Swapp Color Shine and a mask by Prima and just spray right in the center for a few little polka dots. But now it's time for my third prompt, which is to go for see-through. My youngest daughters did a little day art camp all last summer with one of the preschool teachers, and every week they did some different home decor crafty project, and one of them was they made wreaths for their door. It was just the wreath frame, and what they did was take strips of fabric and they tied it around the frame, and when it was all done, it was this really pretty dimensional wreath that they could hang on their door. They also tied their initials to it and things like that, but it was just so cute. And when I saw it the other day hanging on one of my kids' doors, I was like, well, that would make kind of a fun scrapbook page. So that's what I'm attempting to do here. I'm just layering different pieces of vellum around the gelatoed heart that I'd already drawn on my page, and then hope to kind of give it that dimensional look where it's kind of popping off the page afterwards. I'm going to hold it all down eventually with stitching, but for now I'm just layering different vellum elements around the heart. These little tags are so cute. They're from Ormolu, and when I first ordered them, I don't think I realized that they were vellum, so when I got them, it was kind of a little surprise in the box. Something totally different, and just really neat to be able to use on this page. So you might be wondering why I chose to draw the heart with gelatos down first when I was going to go ahead and cover it up with the vellum. But that's really the whole reason why I decided to draw the heart first, is because knowing that I was going to use vellum on white cardstock, I just figured that it would be so boring. There would be nothing there. So I thought the colored heart would kind of just give the vellum a base to kind of build off of. I love the see-through part of it, of that and the transparencies. So I just thought it would just make it pop out a little bit more. Another thing is when I first came up with the idea for this page, I didn't really expect for such bold colors and the transparencies. I kind of have figured that the gelatoed heart would be the main color, and then the vellum over top of it would mute it just a little bit, kind of like if you put gesso down over top of something. But instead, using these transparencies was just, and all the colors, the pops of color, the vibrancy of it, just really, I thought, worked out so great. And the more and more I searched through these little packages of basic gray things, the more excited I got about the colors. I don't know how many of you have tried the new vellum tape that's out by Basic Gray or Little Yellow Bicycle right now, but it is so awesome. I highly recommend trying some out, especially if you're one of those people that thinks the washi tape is really neat, but know that there is no way you're going to use the yards and yards that you get on each roll. This is great because you get a little taste of it and you can use it and see how you like it. You're not committed to one color for too long, and it's just a little addition to these collections. The first of the vellum tape that I'd ever used was by Little Yellow Bicycle, one of the older collections. I think it was from last summer, but they have some with their newest collection out right now, and it's just so cute. The colors are great, but they're still see-through, and it looks kind of, I mean, it's just perfect. So I would really recommend trying some out if you haven't already. I just keep layering all these different tapes and vellums and things around the page until the whole heart is pretty much covered up with some sort of fun see-through adhesive or something. Until the very end, when I'm using some of these fabric tabs from Basic Gray. They're adhesive on one side, and they're just kind of another fun little tape that you can use. And then, of course, I need to put her initial on there, so I decided to go with the film strips. I was going to do her entire name initials, but then decided with just the B. Now that that's all finished, I want to go ahead and get it ready to get stitched down. Now, I didn't adhere any of this down because I don't like to see the adhesive coming through the vellum. So what I'm doing here is I'm using a roll of washi tape. I love washi tape because it's not too sticky. So what I'm doing is I'm just taping around the outside to kind of hold all my pieces in place. Once I have the whole thing taped down, then I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine and use hot pink thread to stitch around the heart then 3 times so that the outline of the heart is on top of the vellum pieces as well as the gelato underneath. Now that my heart and all the vellum is stitched down, I can just gently peel off the washi tape. It comes off really easy, and it's pretty rare that it rips anything, so long as you're just kind of careful. And so then everything will be stitched down and there'll be no signs of adhesive. So I want to go ahead and lay my photos down. I know I want them to go up the side of the heart. The center one is popped up on pop dots. And I know that these probably won't stay on. There's so many layers and it's only stitched in the center, so I went ahead and just decided to use a stapler to make sure that those photos were secure. I said before in the video that this is from her birthday photo shoot from turning 15, which was not even a month ago yet. So I wanted to make sure that I had that all over the page because that's pretty important here. I used letter stickers to spell it out and then 2 different types of number stickers to add it to the other 2 photos. And once I was done with that, I added the title, which is birthday. But it's time for my last prompt, which is to decorate with flair. You can interpret this however you want, meaning just with a lot of pizzazz and fun stuff, or you can actually use flair, which is what I chose to do. I love badge buttons and flair. I think they're so much fun. I don't know who finally decided to take what I used to wear on my uniform at TGI Fridays and make it into an embellishment on a scrapbook page, but I'm so glad that they did. I also added some brads here and there. This is one of those pages that was coming together just so easily for me, and I just didn't really have to struggle much with placement of items. I just went with it. I love it when that happens. I also added some more stuff from Basic Gray. The first thing I used were these adhesive stars, adding them to a few of the little bisted circles, and then also here and there around the page. I wanted to make sure that since this was for her birthday, that it was just fun and peppy and just really exciting for her. I also added a little bit of metal. These are little metal tabs from Basic Gray also. I just love the new Basic Gray lines. I'm so excited that we have them in the shop. And this little one says love. Just stick it right there on the photo and just kind of set that off a little bit. And then of course maybe a little bit more flair. This is from Ormaloo. And then lastly, these little bottle tops. They're miniature bottle tops from Basic Gray, and they just have some great colors just to add here and there a few more little things. And lastly, a little bit of journaling. It just says, time is moving too fast. How have 15 years already gone by? I love you so incredibly much. And that's it. As a recap, my prompts for this week are 1. To try out an art supply. 2. To don't get worried when you need to start over. 3. To use something see-through. And 4. To decorate with flair. I hope you enjoyed this episode of 213 and 2013. Your challenge for me this week is to play along with any of the prompts and to share your page in the gallery. This is Corrie Jones, Garden Girl at 2 Peas in a Bucket. Have a great week.